Welcome to my video on my layout of Spion Kop scenario for Bloody Big Battles rule set. Along the river we have the British, which are moving across the river to assault the Boer positions located on the hills on the other side of the river. Main objective is Spion Kop in the center here. The Boers are deployed in rifle pits on the right hand flank. British objective markers are the circular discs currently with the Boer flag facing. When the British capture that objective, it flips over to the British flag. So all these Boers are deployed in rifle pits. They have some guns there. And moving over to the center with Spion Kop, there are some Boer positions and some artillery. And there's 3 objective markers there. And on the left-hand flank, we've got some more Boer commandos, some deployed in rifle pits, some not. And then along the river, we have various British units moving to attack. We got some naval artillery deployed on this hill here. And then we have the main British assault troops here, a mix of cavalry and a fair amount of artillery and infantry. Along the river we have a series of fords, also known as drifts. You can see them here with the 2 dashed lines showing where the ford is. There's 2 right here. And if we move further along here, we have 1 in the middle. And then over on the British right flank, there's another ford right here. Okay. The Boers do not have any reinforcements. The British have 1 unit that'll come on a little bit later. I'd like to talk a little bit about the terrain and the, I guess I would call, simple terrain style that I've deployed here on the table. I wanted a terrain setup that was easy to build, won't take up much storage space at home here, because I want to start going through a whole series of different scenarios for Bloody Big Battles from 1859 Franco-Austrian War to Crimean War, and as you can see, Boer War. So I wanted something simple to make and get a scenario together and put it on. So if we look at the swamp over here, I just went ahead and I've got lots of different fabric. Just cut it up, and that is your swamp in that area. Now the hills are 1/2 inch foam board. In this case I used like a black foam board, and then I cut it and glued on top some beige brown felt that I had bought. You can see there's 2 different slopes on the hills. The vertical ones here, they're your steep slopes, And then on the back of the hill you can see, and in this area you can see that it is a gentle slope, and that will have an impact on movement speed. So I just cut these based on the scenario that was available. Then the main river here, we've got a 1 inch wide, which I used blue streamer, and I cut it. It's actually like a 2-inch wide streamer. Cut it in half, and with all the twists and turns, I just cut it to different lengths and then just taped it down. In the future, I'm probably just going to use blue painter's tape. There's really not much difference with the river. Although this style here gives you some texture. You can see that. But I don't think it's... I think it's more of a hassle to be taping down and building it rather than just using blue painter's tape. So we got the river with all its twists and turns, and I actually used the painter's tape for the smaller tributary creek here. I used the blue painter's tape. So, and then as you can see, I just put a lot of little rocks down along the river, and I think that might hide the seams of all the twists and all the bends along the river. You can see the hill here. I can show you what it looks like underneath. It's just black foam. There's no reason why I can't use white, but I decided to just use black and glued it down. I went ahead and made my own markers as well. Put them out here. So yeah, I just printed it out and then glued it on like cardboard. Double-sided, so it doesn't matter how you deploy it. I think some people would go with different, like a rock, colored rocks, or different casualty figures, or other markers, but I decided to just go with essentially just the words of what actually is happening to the unit, and keep it simple. It's easy to read, and it is color coded as well. So yeah, so there's a quick overview, and now I'm going to show you more up close some of the terrain materials. Alright, just a little overview of like the terrain that I deployed for this scenario rule set, and I pretty much plan on using the same sort of technique for future Bloody Big Battles, potentially other rule sets. But for this one, with all the variety of terrain and the various meandering of rivers and the odd shapes of all the terrain, and I'll run this a few times, the scenario a few times, and that's it. So the reusability of the hills, the rivers and stuff, and the shape of them, I'm just not going to use for other historic battles. So I wanted something simple and cheap and quick and get a good game in. So looking at, as I originally showed you, the swamp, using a fabric. In this case, it's just a sheet, some sort of pattern, green pattern on it. Yeah, you just cut it up to, in this case, a swamp, or you could use it for a forest. But I noticed on this side, maybe this could be used for like a winter. It's sort of a white, gray, and green on the other side. So this one's pretty functional. Now for other battles, and I've used various fabrics for other functions as well. I'll quickly show you these. In this case, corduroy fabric. You use that for agricultural fields, plowed fields, sort of thing. I've got another fabric here that's not quite a teddy bear fur, but it's some sort of fur, and you can use that for fields. I've got another green fabric here, functional for swamps or forests. And then for the hills, I have a felt here. These come in all sorts of different colors, and in this case, the arid conditions in southern Africa, I figured just some sort of beigey brown would work well for the hills. Okay, now moving on to, well, talking about the hills actually. Here's a look at a piece of the black foam I was telling you about. Basically just took a knife and just cut along the edge here, and then just put some sort of gentle angle on it for the gentle slope parts, and then just kept it nice and flat for the steeper slopes. That was my way of representing the two different contours, either a gentle or a steep effect for the hills. Now for gluing down the felt, I used this glue. It's actually it's called felt and foam. Well, there we go. You're gluing felt down to foam. And it actually worked really well. I was concerned that using some other glue just wouldn't work, but yeah, this one works really well. And for all those hills you see, I might have used up half this container. Moving on to the rivers, I'll show you the streamer set, party streamer sort of thing, and just cut this in half along here, and then laid it down and taped it down with some double-sided tape. And then in the future, as I was saying, I'm going to be using blue painter's tape. Definitely very easy. You just lay it down, and then, oh, I got a bend. Just put a bend right there. Oh, it bends again. Just put it like that. And then, as I was saying, you can certainly disguise it by putting some, disguise the seams by just putting some rocks down. So there you go. That is an overview of the simple terrain in this battle. You've got your hills, your swamp, and then your rivers. So any questions about the scenario, layout, the terrain, feel free to, leave comments. And yeah, I think this will be a fun scenario. This is the deployment. There's 8 turns in this battle, and it starts at night on -1 turn. So 1 unit of British get to assault. For actually 2 turns, they get to assault at night. Spion Kop, essentially. They can move 1 unit, and then on turn 1, then the counting for turns actually starts. Okay, there's a quick overview of the battle as it starts, and we'll see you in the next one.